Welcome to Depression Proof Your Life Live, a space for honest conversations about mental health, mental wellness, recovery, and resilience. Here, we explore how communication, environment, and mindset work together to move us from silence to strength. I'm Marion Mills, and I created DPYL out of my own journey through mental illness, addiction, and recovery. These conversations are about breaking stigma, finding support, and reminding you that you are not alone. If tonight's conversation brings up heavy emotions for you, please step away and reach out for support. Call or text 988 or call 911. Let's begin. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much and welcome to Depression Proof Your Life Live. Before we get started with our guest this evening, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, followed, shared, and reached out about donating to DPYL. And a special thank you to those who have already given. Your support tells me that DPYL sparked something in you. And when I say spark, I mean that moment that something actually clicks, when a story or tool reminds you that you're not stuck and that change is possible. Your generosity helps this message reach more people that need that same spark. If DPYL has impacted your life and you'd like to donate, go to depression-prooflife.com. Every contribution helps to continue creating resources, content, and community. So let's get into my guest for this evening. Tonight's episode, I am excited to introduce my guest this evening, Carlin Tools. He's a voice actor from Chi-Town, Southside.
Chi-Town.
Yes, where he lives with his wife, Teresa. He has two adult sons, Tavon and Ahmad, and he is the proud grandfather of 2-year-old Princess Luna.
Yes, yes.
He has owned several businesses, to include a successful ad agency called Carlin Tools. I love the play on the name. Now, MS symptoms actually started when he was about 20 years old in college and officially diagnosed at 30 years old. Carlin was forced to retire due to MS increased symptoms actually affecting his mobility. But as they say, it pays to know people. His coworker and friend, Robert Hollywood Rhodes, worked with him at Dallas Radio 1 and introduced him to voiceover. Carlin, welcome to DPYL Live. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm wonderful. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, and kudos to you, because I was saying to myself, this is a very important program, because these are things people don't talk about, but everyone has something. Robin Williams, I read, once said, the person who says that everybody doesn't have something has a problem themselves. And, the thing is, this is just life. And this makes it people more aware of it and make people more comfortable realizing, hey, I'm not broke. I just have to work through my stuff, period.
I appreciate you for saying that, Carlin. I really do. Thank you so much for saying it. And honestly, that's why I created it. My own struggles, isolation. I want this platform to do just that, to make people comfortable talking about it. The more that we talk about it, the more other people are. And again, people have actually reached out to me and told me, and that's why I wanted to give that message. So many people have actually told me, watching your show actually sparked me to have that conversation with my dad, or, I actually told my family about my struggles. The more that we talk about it, the more normalized it will be to talk about, because like you said, everyone, no one is perfect. There is no perfect life. So I like to always just start out by telling people how I met my guests. And I met you in 2022, November, December 2022, or it was sometime in 2023. We were in a workshop together. And of course, at the time I was just reaching out to different people from the workshop, and you were always, always, always so kind. There were times that I would text you like, I have an audition and I don't really know how to do it. You never you would always tell me, now you got 15 minutes because my wife coming home. It's gonna be time to eat dinner. But you always made space for me. You really did. I really appreciate it. Um,
My pleasure.
you know,
Thank
like
you.
I said, you always, and again, you always kept it real with me. So I'm really glad to dive in. I'm really appreciate you for being here. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
All right. So of course, you said that you started having symptoms when you were 20
Mhm.
years old.
Yes.
When they
Um,
first appeared, like what do you remember feeling like those moments? You know, especially with you being an athlete and your body was not working the way that it was supposed to.
okay. Couple of things. You're
Yeah.
very kind in calling me an athlete. I played intramural basketball. It's like five people going to the court, picking up a team, and you guys play regularly against other teams at the school. But thank
Okay.
you. I did play in high school, and I did run track in high school. But I just wanted to make sure I'm legit because any basketball players that know me would be like, "What? That boy didn't play no ball." So I got to say that. Um, you
D,
know
thank
what?
you so much. D actually said, glad to see your lovely faces. Thank you so much, D. Always nice to see you and hear from you too. Oh,
It's good.
go ahead,
Oh yeah, I
Carlin.
see D there. Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first symptoms I had, my leg was shaking. I know my father would put me on his knee and bounce me a lot when I was a child. And I would do that to my sons and just bounce my knee, period. It was a habit I had from a child. And I was doing that. Well, one day I was sitting and just started doing it. I'm like, oh, it's nothing. And then I would have like little numbness in my left side on my arm, my toes, little things like that. But it would come and go, and it didn't seem like anything major, like your foot was falling asleep.
Okay.
And I remember it at college being on the basketball court one day, and I my vision was blurry in my left eye. Went to the
Mm,
eye doctor. They sent me to ear, nose, and throat. Then they sent me to get an MRI, and all they said was some inflammation. It should be nothing, and that was that.
right.
Uh, So, things like that would go on here and there, but nothing major. So I just kept moving.
So what was what caused I know at one point, I know I to believe it like in your bio, you were saying that, some of the symptoms you actually ignored. What actually
Yeah.
happened that caused you to realize you can't ignore it anymore and finally force you to actually face what was going on?
Uh, I used to run a lot, and the weather was warming back up in Chicago. It was like late March, early April, and I was running on the lake. And
Mhm.
as I was running back, for somehow my left leg was just like no more, and it stopped. And I was like, wow, I fell. And that was the first time that had occurred. And I took a breath and I just went back on, and everything was fine. But as I ran additional times, I would have other things like the urgency to use the restroom,
Okay.
till not being able to control it and having to use the restroom on myself as I was running.
Okay.
And I thought it was something that happened with runners because I remember as a child watching a marathon and it came on ABC Sports. A woman was
Yeah.
running in, right? She had used the restroom
Yes.
on herself. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, when you run, and I read about your muscles do relax like that. However,
Mhm.
it was happening too frequently. So I my leg was every time I started playing basketball, I mentioned my leg shake with my knee bent.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
but this my whole leg would shake when I'm playing, and as I'm just standing, it starts shaking. And I went to the doctor, and I was saying, "Hey, you know," I told him about my family's health, and I said, I want to check out everything. So he said, "You told me you want to check out everything. Let's do some tests." He did some tests, and he said, "Well, we see some lesions on your brain via the MRI. Can't say definitely what it is, but let's do a spinal tap," which they did. That very uncomfortable, but it
Mhm.
happened. And I was doing Carlin, out kicking it. I was in Dallas. Me and one of my partners, we were headed back to the airport. And I had a phone ring on a Sunday. I'm like, this ain't good. From the doctor, what the
Mm,
hell? And
yes.
sure enough, as I'm headed to the airport from Dallas, he said, "Hey, got the test results. You have multiple sclerosis. Let's talk." I'm like, wow. So
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But that was me. So, but I went into the doctor. We talked about it and everything, and I took what they told me, and I'm like, all right, I can do therapy because they say you can do therapy. I'm like, cool. I'm figuring, I know it affected you physically, so I'm like, physical therapy, I can do that. I'll work out. I don't have a
Okay.
problem. Let's do therapy.
Right.
And then it's okay. I'll write you a prescription. I'm like, prescription? What's that? Oh, that's therapy. Oh, I'm going to give you some medication. There's different ones, but I think this is the best one. You give
Oh,
yourself a shot every other day. I'm like, huh? A shot every other day? It's like, yeah. It's real simple. We'll walk you through it, but we'll do this. I'm like, no, hold on. Let me follow up. And I
mhm.
didn't want to do that. Again, me, I don't know if you could tell, but I had a big head, kind of egotistical. It's hard. I know you don't know, but anyhow, I didn't want to slow down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't have diabetes or anything like that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And you have that whole thinking like, man, please, I'm bigger than that. I don't need that crap. Nevertheless, I went about 2 years without doing it, and things were getting worse. The leg was bothering me more.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me start trying it out. And I did. And things I had, when you first get it, usually you have relapse remitting
Okay.
MS. So therefore, it'll occur and then it may back. And it never goes 100% back, but it may go 95. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So the 5% you don't notice. So my
Mhm.
point is, it doesn't affect you so much. You know what I'm saying? You'll have an occurrence and then things will snap back for the most part.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize it progresses to a different phase, which could then go to a different phase. Again, you need to educate yourself because the doctor will only tell you what you ask. And if you
Mm.
don't ask, then you'll be wondering what the hell is going on as your body changes in front of you. So yeah.
Wow. You said you brought up a lot of important parts. I really appreciate you for pointing out the family history. Number one is the importance of actually knowing your family history.
Yes. It's very
So
important.
it's extremely and um yeah, a lot of people. I think it's natural for people to trust that a doctor is going to just tell you what it is. They're going to give you. But like you said, if you don't ask, that's what is when people talk
Mhm.
about advocating for yourself. It's not just hey, I need you to do this. It's literally asking questions and no matter how strange or how silly you think it may
Mhm.
be, this is your body. Like you said, if you don't ask, they won't. A lot of times they will not tell you. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, when it comes to the doctor, that's why social workers and therapists in other ways can actually help educate. A lot of times they have groups to actually help educate people, after a
Yes.
stroke, after some type of diagnosis, because it's like this is your new normal. So, in touching on that,
Mhm.
you talked about was there any physical therapy at all, or it was just medication therapy?
The physical therapy didn't start until I was in Dallas. Uh, I didn't have physical challenges that prevented me from moving and things like
Okay,
that. That
okay,
occurred once I moved here. It started occurring while I was in Baltimore prior to moving to Dallas. And I
okay.
started recognizing some challenges. But it would be like with the heat or if I wear pants, jeans, things like that. It felt like they were more constricting, although I never wore skinny jeans or tight pants.
Right, right, right,
It's
right.
just the way it felt because with me, my biggest challenge with MS is spasticity, which means
What's the word?
spasticity.
Spasticity. Okay.
Like a spasm, but spasticity. And it's like that, as if it's your muscles. So you have one muscle locking up, you have another muscle locking up, and they're pulling against each other. So with
Mm,
me, for example, my legs will just stiffen up.
yeah,
I feel them stiffening right now, but as I lay, or I can sit back sometime and my leg might just shoot out.
yeah.
They
Okay.
just tighten up and they'll just shoot straight up. And I
Hmm.
have to let it cool out for it to bend. Or sometimes it
Okay.
won't even bend right away. So those are my challenges. And it
Okay.
becomes difficult. And of course, that happens when you have to use the restroom. And
Okay.
as I was asked to my doctor, I think it was a smart ass answer. I didn't care for it. I was talking to my neurologist, and I was like, "What's up with this? Every time I go to the bath, I have to go to the bathroom. My spasticity kick in, and it's hard to
Right.
work." She's like, "It's all nerves, duh." Okay, thank you.
See,
That was very medical. Nah.
right. I mean,
I don't have her anymore, but
good for you. Yeah. It's like, yeah, and again, as I said earlier, there are no silly questions. It's like, if I don't know, this is all new to me, and no, I don't understand, why it happened. Yes, it's all nerves, but it doesn't happen in all these other times when I'm moving and nerves are also involved. So good for
yes,
you for asking the question,
yeah.
and good for you for getting rid of her. Did you ever, have any, um, did you ever see a psychologist, any type of therapy for the mental part of how MS affects you?
Yes, there are therapists. No, I have not seen one. I've it's just in the past 6 weeks, I've gone as far as just verifying that my insurance does coverage. And I did go to the National MS Association is a very good resource. And I
Hmm.
went to that site and I found a few that I reached out to. So we've
Okay.
been corresponding. So I'm like in the process of, but I haven't committed to anything yet. I'm not above it at all. I'll tell you this, having MS makes you aware of a lot. And if I can, real
Mhm.
quick, I once,
Please, yeah.
I read and I love different people's stories. So Richard Pryor, somebody I've always looked into. Of course, you
Yes,
may know he had MS.
of course, yeah.
And I was listening to an interview, or reading an interview he did, and they said, "What's the biggest thing uh, that has happened with you with MS?" And he said, MS has been the best thing for me because now I can appreciate life.
Mm,
He said, I have all this stuff around me, but I never really checked it out. I could be
mhm,
home or be all around and never paid attention to the things I had right next to me, my
mm.
family, my garden, things like that.
Yes.
And I admire that. And it is 100% true. It makes you realize life is temporary and it's
Mm,
definitely a gift. So enjoy it while you have. MS or any illness does not spell the end. It
mm.
spells you just need to adjust to make what you want happen. As we've talked about it, I believe MS is multiple sclerosis, but I always say MS means move shit. You move
Yeah,
shit around. You got to
right.
make things work. You saw yourself getting here by going this way. You can't do that now, but you can still get there. But you might have to go here. You might have to get this person to help you get there. You know what I'm saying? Things are different, but it does not end. And that's my philosophy on life in regards to I believe you can accomplish everything. I've been fortunate, I believe, very fortunate in my life. Everyone has different things they can measure their happiness or success
Yeah.
next to.
Hmm.
I look at the things I've been fortunate to do, the
Yeah.
places I've been fortunate to go, the people I've been fortunate to be around, the stories I'm fortunate to tell because I have those memories still, thank God. And as long as I don't lose that, I'm a very rich person. But I
Mm.
once read that the guy who started Apple, the success is being able to wake up every day to do what you love doing
Yeah.
and live and make a living doing it. And I do that. So I'm very successful when it comes to that. I have a family, I have a beautiful wife, I live well, so I'm not upset. God is good. I'm sorry if I went off script.
No, okay. Let me just say this, as I've told my other guests.
Hmm.
I created this platform. God bless me to go through things that I went through in order to create this platform. But this is your time. Like
Hmm.
that's why I'm literally just sit and smile,
Okay.
because number one,
Thank
what
you.
you are saying is extremely powerful. It
What did I
sounded
say?
like that. Great way to look at moves. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's real. That's real.
I'm gonna tell you. It's extremely powerful what you're saying, and that's why I love reaching out to people, that have been through some stuff, that have a story to tell, and we all have a story to tell,
Yes,
but
we do.
yours is one of
Mm.
resilience, and it's not. I think I said on one of the posts, I said something about the epitome of of resilience, because it's like you're not allowing anything stop you. And that's why I chose the song "Ain't No Stopping Us" now on some of the posts that I post, because it's like this man, it was like, okay, it happened, but I'm still able to move. I'm still able to do what I need to do. And it actually reminds me of when I was in the military. I injured my back. I'll never forget. I was running my final PT test in the
Hmm.
Army, and I was running, and like it felt like, as I described it, little men just chipping away at my pelvic bone. I was, just in pain. Like I could barely walk, I could barely run. It was, every step was painful. And I think that that's probably, some of the first times that I really started suffering with depression, because again, as you said, I used to love to run. If I felt a certain way, I could run it out, almost like Forrest Gump,
Hmm.
just kind of running. But it- it's amazing, and I think it's beautiful, and it's a powerful story to be able to tell, that it's like, okay, well, no, I'm gonna go talk to somebody else. And again, the fact that I love the fact that it sounds like you were extremely self-aware of your own body. You could tell when things weren't working right. You did not ignore it, even though I know in your bio you said that you ignored your symptoms, but you were very self-aware. Like, that hasn't always been happening. This is happening more than it normally is. That's extremely important. So I really appreciate, again, just how you tell it. And I know that it's going to resonate with a lot of people, whether it's MS or something else, but just really give someone courage and inspire them. Were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I don't even remember at this point. But in compliment to what you're saying, thank you first of all.
Yeah.
My attitude is, like you were saying, you mentioned with me ignoring the symptoms, I did it, and that was more ego. That and my awareness, determination, and like I'm not about to give this any life. I
Mm,
believe that
that's
you
powerful.
can overpower most things, and traditional medicine or traditional practice isn't the cure for everything, or isn't the only cure, shall I say. Uh,
Mm,
and I'm not saying there's a cure for MS. However,
I hear you. Yeah.
sometimes you can grow in the understanding of things and get so in tune with yourself. You have to tie a string around your finger to remember the ill practices or
Yeah.
things that happen to you.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I have challenges. I cry. I have all that stuff. There's a group of us in voiceover. We spoke at the conference.
Yes.
D who chimed in. You had Tony
Hmm.
on here last week. You know, several of us, good brothers, Terry, so Keyston. I
Terry.
can go on and on. Yeah. Uh,
The VO father, right?
yeah.
Is
Oh
that?
God. Yes. Yeah. Dougie.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Every
Hmm.
Tony. All of us.
Yeah.
And some of the ladies too. But the point is, we text and we confide in each other. You know what I'm saying? We
Good.
share. We have a text. We share stuff that we're going through, and it's stuff that people be like, "Damn, for real," but it's real.
That's
This
right.
when we were at the thing and we spoke, Tony was very real. I love it, but it's in your face. No, you can't ignore it. I mean,
That's right.
authenticity can be misconstrued. There's an
Hmm.
authenticity that goes well, and it's
Yeah.
been a term used often just in society. You hear it, used a lot in the past 5 years.
Hmm.
However, I became familiar with it becoming a colloquial term in voiceover
Okay.
when, about 5 years ago when it became a big thing here.
Yeah.
And being from Chicago, authenticity meant keeping it real,
That's right.
being real. And that's not necessarily the exact same with voiceover. You and I had this conversation yesterday.
Hmm.
Authenticity in this means using your voice and your words, well, in your tone
Yeah.
of their words. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Not
Hmm.
your words or not the way you would necessarily say it, because, you know, as a black man, I'm not in a lot of those situations. However, as an actor, I have to place myself in those
That's right.
situations.
Hmm.
So, it's just a play on you like authentic and not authentic enough, but not for this possibly. And that's fine. But I don't let the words play on me. It's just funny how colloquial words mean different things to everybody, but it's a good word to
Absolutely.
use.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I definitely agree with that. So, can you walk us through, I guess, and you kind of did that, but can you walk us through the progression of MS,
Mm.
and how it over time affected your mobility to where you had to use a cane, and now using a scooter from time to time
Mhm.
for your mobility?
Yeah, I use the scooter a lot actually.
Okay.
It started off with the cane. I started using the cane actually here in Dallas. So that would have been in the past 10, 11 years. I moved here in 2014.
Okay.
And shortly after I got here, I had to use the cane, but I didn't use it all the time. And then they went to using it all the time. And then after I retired, after stepped away because I was having falls and different things like that, I got a walker, started
Okay.
using the walker. And then, you know, you get tired is one of the challenges with MS. You get fatigue
Okay.
fast. So, and trying to walk in fatigue means danger. I've broken my arm twice, two different arms, two different
Oh,
times, a year almost to date apart from
wow.
falling. And that's the my drive wanting to say, no, I can do this, and trying to take stuff out to the trash can, got boxes in one hand, trash in another, do stuff that I hadn't been doing and ignoring what I have, like, no, I can do this. It
Yeah.
costs me, and several times I've had that happen. I've fallen many times than I would even want to mention, but it's a part of it.
Yeah.
And I rather fall or get me wrong, don't get me wrong, there's a limit to you want to do that. However,
Yes.
as long as I can walk, I want to do that. I want to do it as much as I can. And sometimes it may end up in a fall, but you know, for example, because of that, I've started being on my scooter more in the past 3 months. And that's fine. But usually around the house, I try to walk, especially during the daytime. And when it
Right.
gets later, my body gets a little more fatigued. I get on my scooter about 6, 7 o'clock, and I'm on that all day, the rest of the evening or whatever. But yeah, that's how it progressed for me. You go from relapse remitting to uh, primary progressive stage one, and then progressive stage two. I'm in progressive stage two, which I believe is the most advanced. Now, it doesn't mean the end of the world. It's just how you specify things. But
Mhm.
essentially, with all MS, with all of it, you get gradually worse. With progressive MS, it's, I guess, a more steady pace of it. However, there are people live well into their 70s or even 80s with it. It's just everyone is different because there are so many nerves in your body that control everything, every aspect. You know what I'm saying? You got over 100 nerves just for one thing of your arm moving.
Yeah.
So one nerve could be affected, which may not be anything noticeable right away, but
Yes.
it might be you moving your pinky. You know what I'm saying? So it affects everyone differently. But that's where I am.
You are so much you're so much of an inspiration.
Hmm.
And of course,
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, it, it's it's I think I was talking to D. I was telling them that a lot of times I would isolate myself when my back would flare up because I was always having to explain like, oh, what happened to your leg? Oh, it's not my leg, it's actually my back. Well, why are you walking like that?
Mhm.
You was walking fine a few minutes ago. So the fact that, and I appreciate you for being so honest and open about, it's like, yeah, I feel down, I cry. But again, you don't allow it to stay there. You don't allow yourself to stay there. So I think that is, like I said, just
Well, you know what? You in my mind, excuse me, you have to allow yourself to cry. There's nothing
absolutely,
wrong
yes,
with having downtime.
that's
Allow it,
right.
but
Yeah.
recognize, hey, I'm taking this time. I got to do this. I'm feeling like crap. I don't like what's going on or whatever. But tomorrow is about to be a different day. Whatever period you put in your head, but you have to stick with that. Here's the thing. I'm not about to be in the corner with footies on, flicking the light on and off. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad if that's your thing.
Yeah.
However, I want
Right.
to be progressive. There are things I want. When I was younger, I always read things like How to Think and Grow Rich. You know, What Makes the Great Great. I always
Mhm.
read books. I have a bookcase behind me. It's all of those kind of things. Um,
Yes.
that's what I read as a young man. I've always wanted to be a business owner. So I've
Mhm.
always had that mentality. And it's and now what? Life throws you challenges. But like I said, having MS made me more aware, conscious, and empathetic to other challenges that I see
Mm.
people with. Because I see, damn,
Yeah.
it's no lifestyle per se you have to live. It's no race, it's no age, sex, anything like that. No, it's shit that happens. Excuse my language, but it
Mm.
happens. And now it happened to you. So now what are you going to do?
Mm.
Get some support. You can talk to other people like yourself, and that helps. I've had conversation. I'm not in like an active group other than what I said.
Mhm.
I am more of an independent person. I try to be. But I'm very dependent. My wife is very helpful. I couldn't do a lot without her. I know that.
Yeah.
Um, but my attitude, the way I've come up, has always been about get it done. Stop excuses. Let's just make it happen. So that's my drive. And it works well for me though. I don't have a problem. And then my first 7, 8 years or so with MS, people wouldn't know I had MS unless I mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't physically tell
Yeah.
unless you saw me walking for a period of time. And you'd be like, why are
Right.
you walking like that? I've had
Yes.
people say that to me.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you didn't know it. I would hang out, drinking, walking, doing everything everybody else was. And see, when I came out of college, I was fortunate to start working in radio right out of college, the very
Okay.
first hip hop station in Chicago, straight out of college. So I was
Wow.
on that kind of a fast ride and
Mm.
loved it.
Yeah.
So they told me MS. I'm like, get out of here. That's not to stop. I got somewhere to be. I got to do some things.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
in that fast lane big time. But I've enjoyed getting the hell out of it at the same time. And this pace of life, I'm enjoying
Yes.
that. Right now, life is about be easy,
Yeah.
making things easy and enjoying life. So
Mhm. So, Sandy asked, she said, how would you advise others to respond when they have fallen? She said that her dad
mm,
had polio, and some can get it at 20 to 30 years later called post polio. Oh, okay. I didn't
mm,
know that.
I knew that.
Um,
Right.
she said, so he would fall often and wouldn't want to be a burden. So, what
Mhm.
would you advise? Thank you so much for that question, Sandy.
Yeah, yeah. Good question. First of all, I would advise the person who's helping them be patient.
Mm,
Most, especially men, but no one wants to be dependent, because they can't take care of themselves.
yeah.
So I know myself, for example, I was just at the barbershop, and as I was leaving out, he asked my barber who runs the shop asked another barber to help me. And as I was going to the car, he was helping me. He said, "Yeah, I heard you don't like to get help." And I laughed. I was like, "Wow." I said, "Well, yeah, you probably did hear that." Because I always say, I got it. I got
Yeah.
it. And Lord knows I do need help a lot. Um, but like with people falling, every person, they want to help you and they just quick to grab. And there's
Yeah.
something to it. You might be grabbing in the wrong place. The person may
Mm,
need to get their balance. I
yeah.
want to put, you can't just grab and pull me. If I don't have my legs up under me, you're
That's
going
right.
to be lifting all dead weight. And then
Hmm.
I can't get my legs under me until you get me. I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
So for you to try to get me upright for me to get my legs is difficult. So
Yeah.
allow me to get my legs bent, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I can help you help me. And
Yeah.
then you can't just grab my arm as I'm gonna fall off balance. There's a lot of different things to it. So ask, hey,
Yeah.
look, I want to help you get up. What
Mm,
what do you think is best? And be
that's
patient. And
good.
it's
It's so good.
difficult for people to be patient
Yeah.
with you. And I understand. And then it's difficult for me to ask for help because I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? In my attitude, I'm like, look, I got this. It may take me a little longer. I'll get up if I could use some help, but God bless. I hope that helped.
That is an applaud to you because even though you're saying you don't want the help, the fact that you can actually admit that is huge. Like seriously, it's huge to be able to say, I know I need the help, but I don't want the help. And I appreciate everything that you said, because it is, for someone that you care about, or just being a caring person, you see someone, you want to help them. Yeah, that's our first instinct, is to try to help.
Yeah,
But
and it's not that I don't want it. I don't want to say
oh
that.
yeah,
It's not that I don't want it. It's a lot of times people aren't patient. So if you can be patient with me to say how you can help me, and sometimes I don't know. You know what I'm saying? People ask for help, and I may not be in a situation where I need it right there. However, in two more steps, I'm going to be getting that car door. Yeah, can you open the door for me? Or when I open the door, do you mind taking the walker and folding it and putting it in the car? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Things like that could be of assistance. Can I get it done? Sure. But it's much easier and quicker if you're helping me. And being from Chicago again, people don't just come up and offer you a lot of help. I'm in the South now.
okay,
It's a big difference. People wave, they speak to you. I
yes,
remember
yes.
going home. I
I'm
went to
from
school in
yeah,
the South.
I'm from Texas, so yeah, I totally get that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. I went to school at Grambling first, and I went home. And after one semester, I went home to Chicago, and I'm walking down the street, hey, waving to people, and they're like, "What the hell? Why are you talking? I don't know you, man."
I don't know
And
you.
see, in the South, you wave everybody. Car driving by, they waving to you in the porch.
That's right.
That's not the city. So
Yeah,
I'm not used to people being so helpful.
yeah.
But it's great. People have really extended themselves. And in Texas, I've been surprised. At what I've heard about Texas and being a black man, I've been very surprised. But people have been very accommodating.
Hmm.
And even with travel, I was telling someone recently, I feel secure traveling by myself going through the airport because it's actually one of the most secure and feasible places for you if you are handicapped, because a lot of people are there to help you. Now, you should have some cash to be tipping people, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? They're very
Okay.
accommodating for the most part.
That's good. I never would have thought about that, but I appreciate you for pointing it out and explaining how, because I don't know if you saw my face, but as soon as you said that, I raised my eyebrow, like, but it makes sense. Like you said, there's a slew of people there to actually
Mhm.
help. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like going to the conferences and stuff like that. And then I'm in a hotel, I mean,
Hmm.
getting a shuttle from the airport to the hotel is not rough. And then everything is there at the hotel. So I'm not like moving around the town. And if I am, I'm with people, trusted people who I know is
Right.
going to have my back or whatever.
Hmm.
However, being able to do that though is huge for me. Having traveled many times by myself, that was a part of my job at one point. I flew every week. But,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, I don't want that at all. However, being able to exercise that independence, I've had to get my car manned up with hand controls for me to
Okay.
still be able to drive that because my legs, again, with spasticity, is scary. Uh, so I've had to outfit my home. Like this is my office now. I have my studio, but I have like handrails for exercising and grab bars all around my house.
Okay.
So I can safely maneuver. I'm still using my walker, but when I get to the restroom, I want to walk, so on and so forth, things I can grab, showers, so
Mhm.
on and so forth. But man, things are possible. Things are possible. I'm glad I have the resources to make it happen.
Where's your wife from?
She's from, that's a good question.
Hmm.
Raised in Baltimore,
Okay.
from Utah. Uh,
Is that right?
yeah, right, right. That's why I say a good question. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, my black wife was born in Utah. Oh, excuse me. She was born in Montana, grew
Okay.
up in Utah the first half of life, and then did high school and college in Baltimore. Morgan
Okay.
State grad. Uh,
Nice. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
like college, love it. Yes,
Nice.
and
Okay.
she's probably right outside this door listening to me. Her ears buzzed as soon as she heard me talk about Utah, Baltimore, or her. She heard you probably.
So, tell us how, of course, having to transition, to retiring early, I'm sure it
Mm,
was huge. Of course, you go to college, you're looking forward to this life that you've imagined for yourself.
mhm.
How did you process that loss? And then once you tell us about that, if you could tell us, the role that Robert Hollywood actually played in kind of reshaping, that after you left the radio.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? It was devastating. I'd actually gotten an MBA
yeah.
5, 6 years prior to having to retire or something. So,
Hmm.
my plans actually moving to Dallas. I've always wanted to own a broadcast company. I worked
Mm,
in radio for like coming straight out of college, so I did like 25 plus years.
yeah.
And I wanted to try to get into ownership. And Texas has more independent media owned companies,
Okay.
independent owned media companies than any other state.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
like, and there's a lot of money here. So I'm like, that's a good place to be. It wasn't a bad move.
Very strategic move, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely.
Right.
But working in radio and then going through the challenges I was having, the writing was kind of on the wall. Me being of an entrepreneurial spirit, I'm always trying to think of other ways to make money.
Hmm.
And Hollywood, or Robert Rhodes, or Hollywood as he's known in radio,
Hmm.
worked at the station, and he always did voiceover. And he would talk to me about it. I would ask him questions. And he called me in the studio one day. I mean, he called me in my office like, "Yo, come in the studio. I got something I'm about to do." And he did a job. And I said, "CJ, just sit here." I sat there for like 15, 20 minutes. He did a session.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's it?"
That's
He's
it,
like, "Yeah,
right?
I just
That's
did
it.
a commercial." He's like, "Yeah,
Right.
it's about $2,800. I was like, "That was $2,800 right there?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, I'm getting in." So shortly after, I joined up with Edge Studio online.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
did them because I saw there were a ton of teachers, and I felt because it was a quote unquote school, it was a little bit more established. It had a program, something to kind of introduce me and teach me everything,
Yeah,
versus me just hiring Joe Smo because I didn't know anybody
that's
in
right.
the
Mhm.
industry. And I'm happy I did it. It was good, and I've met some people who I know in the industry now from there who were my instructors and stuff.
Yes, I remember when
Nevertheless,
I first met you. You shared, you told me about Edge.
yeah, it was a great experience.
Mhm.
So once I've had several accidents at the gig, um, on calls. As a sales manager, I had to go out with my AEs to different meetings and things like that. I had,
Oh,
times that are quote unquote embarrassing, but at the same time, you know what? It happens. It happens. Uh, so I'm at a client lunch, big lunch they were putting together, a lot of big agencies there with one of my AEs who had a lot of big accounts.
yeah.
And I'm getting up from the table and I'm like, getting up on the table and put my hand on the table flip up. And I go down, hold every food there. I'm like, damn, how the hell
Mm,
this just happened? I'm just getting up.
yeah.
That at a car dealership with a AE, get into a truck. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Get into the truck to check it out. Trying to get out the truck, fall. You
Mm,
know, so everybody like, oh boy. And I embarrassed my AEs. I embarrassed them more than I was embarrassed, which
yes.
was my concern. But
Yeah.
these things, and then falling at work, going to the restroom, I found that 65% of falls happen when people go to, excuse me, going to the restroom. Yeah, 65% of falls are people going to the restroom because of the urgency. You're not paying as much attention. You're trying to
That's right. Yeah.
get there.
Trying to get there. Yes. That's
Exactly. So
mhm.
as well, it was like I saw it kind of coming at the job. I was telling my friend, you get the feel.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend at work, not even a week prior, I said, yeah, I can see things not going to be here. I'm not going to be here much longer. I can tell the way the mood is around here. And then
Mm,
I had to go to the restroom, and I said, I'm gonna go out. No, I'm not gonna go out in that hall because I could have went down one hall where I'm not walking past anyone. So I said,
okay.
no, I'm gonna walk straight ahead. And I
Right.
go by all the offices, and surely I got a few offices down and tripped and fell in front of some of my peers in management.
Yeah.
And they helped me up, which I was very appreciative of. And I kept going on, but I knew my manager was going to be hearing all of these things
Yeah.
because all of this was happening maybe within a 3-4 month period. Oh, I don't know. It happened, hell.
Yeah.
So shortly after, she called me in the office, and that's what happened. I got let go because of that.
Mm,
And it was upsetting because this is what I did from out of college.
right. Yeah.
And I had a lot of investment. I moved here,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, for this job. And I don't know jack about Texas. It's hot as hell. I didn't know it was going to be this hot in Dallas. Uh, but here I am out here cooking now, not working, and a wife. Oh, just bought a house, just got a car.
Right.
Ah,
Right. That's
so
real.
talked to Hollywood, and he was like, "Hey, man, we talked about voiceover. No better time than now."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Wow." This was on a Friday.
Mm.
Saturday, I had stuff coming in from Amazon. I was loading up my office, setting up my desk, all that stuff. I had some basic recording equipment just to learn the microphone,
Yeah.
podcast kit, you get that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I started buying equipment, and that was in April, May. I booked my first gig in July via Voices.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in November, I was done with Edge Studio. I finished with that. I had a demo. I got a small agent. Well, I'm gonna say small, a local agency in Chicago, Shirley Hamilton Talent. I
Mm-hmm.
picked them up in my hometown. That was my first agent. I got
Mm.
them in February, and in July, I had my first national gig. It was huge, with Maker's Mark.
The Maker's Mark. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it lasted 3 years. So I bought my studio booth and everything.
Hmm.
Before that, my word is bond. The very first audition I did in that booth was Maker's Mark, and I landed it, and it paid for that damn booth, paid for delivery and everything. So I said, God is
Mhm.
good. But
Yeah.
I invested in myself. I bet on myself.
Yeah.
I can control those odds more than I can any other game or anything else that you would bet on. You can control your odds, or you know them better. But I would definitely say bet on yourself, man. And you can't take this away from me. And hell, I can record. You know what? What's the guy's name? Edinburgh. He
Yes.
does all.
Mhm.
I'm talking about. Does all the
Uh-huh.
animal and life.
Yes.
90 some years old. You know how much
That's
money?
right.
This guy's making a lot of money still.
Still
I
and
think he just
still in
turned
high
92
demand.
or
Yeah.
93 in June. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
David Attenborough. So
Yes.
those are
It,
the kind of things. I
yeah.
can talk. I'm blessed to still be able to talk. And as long as I
Yeah.
can jump in that mic, jump in that booth, or if I can, I just put the mic out here, damn it.
Yeah.
But I can talk. I like to talk. I was a salesman. I'm a talker. I used to
Yes.
be
Yeah.
I've talked a lot. So I'm talking a lot now. I'm sorry.
No, this is your platform. Like this is your I say it again, you're so inspiring, and I just want to give a shout out to God because he
Yes.
sets us up in ways that we don't
Mm,
even realize. Like he planted that seed for you for you to see Hollywood do what he does.
mm,
You getting into it, it's like, oh, that'd be
mhm.
some nice little extra money, and here it is. God knew what was coming down the pike with
Oh, definitely.
them letting you go.
And you know
And
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no, no,
please.
no, 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 no. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I believe you get everything you ask for. However, are you going to recognize it if it doesn't come in the package, the
Oh
dress, the
my
card
God.
in which you thought it was going to come? If it didn't come sounding, looking, or tasting, whatever the heck he was asking for, the way you thought, you
Mm,
get it. It's your job to recognize it and be
yeah,
able to see the blessings that you have coming. And you
yeah,
can interpret it any way you want. You can look at your glass as half full, or you can be like,
yeah.
I can't quench my thirst on this.
Mm,
My attitude is like, I'm not going to be doing that damn crime, man. Come on, grab your damn bootstrap and let's do this. Let's do this. You know what I mean? I come from the background. I thank God it saved my life when I was in high school. And, the only excuse you making is that you're making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, do it. You know what I'm saying? You can make it happen. If you want it to happen, you make it happen. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You can't say you're hungry and pray and think that, you know, some bread about to pop up on your plate. If anything, you get a bag of seeds and a shovel fall on your head. And you got to do some damn work, but make it happen. And you can do it. I
yeah,
believe in it. You know what I'm saying? You get
yeah,
what you put out there. If you don't put it out there, it ain't happening. And don't get me wrong, your attitude, your mentality plays a big part of it. You must be appreciative of what you have, the things you have,
yeah.
and know what you want.
Mm,
And don't wait till you get it to start feeling the way you think you should feel or you're going to feel once you have it.
yeah.
And I'm going to give it to my man Stephen Gord, the voice artist. You guys know
Okay.
him. He's all over the place. Chi-Town homeboy from we discovered each other via voiceover and grew up literally 3 blocks away from each other.
Is
I
that
know
right?
his neighbors. He knows people. Yeah, right. I mean, we're that close. In fact, on LinkedIn, after we ran into each other on a similar to you and I on like some voiceover stuff,
Mm-hmm.
somebody, a mutual friend on LinkedIn had tapped both of us like, man, you know Carl and you know Steve. I'm like, oh
Right.
man, you
Like
know
y'all
him? Yeah. So it was like, okay, yeah. But he put me on to some of this, and I think it's important. The whole thought of manifestation.
mm,
Uh, it doesn't, in my mind, compete or contradict any spiritual. It's not about that. It's about being at peace and in tune with what you want. And then if you want to achieve this and you say, hey, once I get this, I'm going to be living like this, I'm going to be feeling like this, and think about how you're going to feel and what you want to do, and start embracing that now. Because don't wait till you get quote unquote goal to feel good. What the hell are you doing with your time now? You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So what if you only get on the back 20% of your life? You wasted 80% just being like, I'm gonna get it. No, dog. Enjoy life now. You know what I mean?
mm.
Every day is a good damn day on this side of the dirt. That's the way I was taught. You know what I mean? That's my belief. So keep going for your stuff. You got a rough time. I get you. It is rough. Deal with it. Keep it moving. Period. It's not that simple, but it is.
I love that. It's not that simple, but it is. Like it is. Sandy asked, are you involved in any trials or research for cures for
Mm.
MS?
No,
Mhm.
no, I'm not. I'm not above it. Someone just reached out to me recently, exposed me to something. It was somewhat incomplete, or at least I did not get all the details of it.
Okay.
It was like some general post. And I'm open and then I'm not. I mean, I'm a black man read, you know what I'm saying, the whole Tuskegee, all that.
Yeah.
I believe that there needs to be African Americans specifically in testing and research because a lot of things, especially medications, aren't suitable for us because they don't know what,
Talk
especially with
about it.
MS.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not a lot of blacks that they've studied with MS. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the books you read and things across the market are for the general population. Most MS is in northern populations. North, the further away from the sun, the further away from the equator, the more MS, because they say it's a direct relation between vitamin D, and it's the sun, and then there's other things, but there is no specific known reason for it.
Okay.
However, more cases. Like you go to Canada, you got a lot more cases Canada than you do here. You go to Russia, you got a lot more cases than you do here. So the further north, you have more cases of it.
Okay.
That's again the whole simple, thing about the
Did
sun
I
and
know
things.
that? Wow.
Yeah. I
Oof.
started talking and forget what I was saying. So I know
No,
people
no, no, no. I
that
mean,
know me and be like, look
everything
at
you're
him.
saying is good though. Like, but one of my other questions was, you always say life is good. And it says, and my question was, what does that mean now?
Mm.
After MS has changed. But again, you already explained that as well. It's like it's not that simple, but it is.
Yeah.
And you I don't know if you are aware, but the elements that helped me create that I try to focus on in regards to depression proof your life, for
Mhm.
me, it was conversation, people talking about being able to talk about how, the good, the bad, the ugly, the nasty, just what it really looks like, to be depressed or to struggle with, as you talked about the group of you guys being able to talk about some of the things that if you told someone else about, they'd be like, oh, that's not like it is what it is. This is what we go through.
It's real.
Um,
It's
so,
uncomfortable. And
yeah.
most
So
people
conversation.
don't feel comfortable talking about it. Look,
Mhm.
real talk. Now, who wants to talk about shitting on themselves
Right.
or having a fall and busting
That's
their
right.
head?
Mhm.
These are things that happen. It's real.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? The difference between a child and a baby, I mean, a child and an adult can take care of it where you possibly don't even know about it, or it's not bothering you because they didn't clean themselves up. But it
That's
happens. It's
yeah.
real stuff. It's uncomfortable as hell. I've had times where I've walked past the mirror and I've cried because I've caught a glimpse of how I'm walking, how I'm bent over past
Mm-hmm.
this mirror. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, damn. And I've seen myself, you know, physically slump or digress. You know what I'm saying? I've seen myself go down, but it ain't stopping me. And I smile now because that's real. I'm here talking to you right now about this. You dig?
Yeah.
So I mean, everything is possible. It's my belief is only thing that stops you is you. Period. You know, you can have whatever attitude you want, and that's your thing. But why not have a good attitude? You can always be funky. You know, I had somebody tell me, you can quit in your day. Why today? And
Mm.
sometimes you got to ask yourself that when you get down and you like say, oh, it's funky as hell. I don't want to do this. Yeah, you're right. But what are you going to do different?
Yeah.
What is going to make it different? Your attitude alone could. I mean, you're going to still go through the stuff, yeah, but just recognize you go through it, move stuff around so you don't go through it that way, or you don't have it happen this way. You can make small adjustments here and there, or maybe big adjustments. Do it. If it
Yeah.
allows you to keep doing what the heck you want to do, it's worth it. That's
Yeah.
my thinking. I'm not going to go crazy, you know, wondering what if. I believe in going for what you want to do, man. Period. I'm sorry, I can go on and on.
No, 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 no. I've told you, you don't have to apologize. This is so good. Um, but yeah,
Thank you.
you're absolutely right because conversation, having honest conversations, mindset, exactly what you've been talking about all night. It's and you know what I also hear is choice. It's a choice, and I believe when I was talking to Tony, I believe he used that word. Like, you know, it's a choice. You know, to it's this or that. You know, which one are you going to take? You can feel whatever you need to feel in that moment, but again, you know, just make sure that you don't stay there. You know,
Yes.
because yeah, it can change your life
Yeah,
literally.
not only can you feel that way, you should take the time to grieve.
That's
Whenever
important.
you have that feel to grieve, it's nothing wrong with it. You're not don't feel bad because you do it. Take the time to do it, but give yourself a limit. You know, and if you have to go above that limit, then you do. But then give yourself another limit. Don't just say I'm going to grieve forever and be
Yeah,
stuck with that, because then you say you're stuck with having a pouty face and not being happy. If that's
yeah,
what you want, then God bless you. I don't want that. And guess what? Most people don't want to be around that. Even the
yeah.
people that love you, they love you, but they don't want to be around that sorry stuff. So
Um,
they
okay.
want you to
Yeah,
want the best for yourself. And attitude is everything. You would be
yeah,
surprised with what you can get with the best attitude. If you have bad stuff going on in your life, but your attitude is great, people will even try harder to do stuff for you
mm,
because they're delighted to see that you can still smile
yeah.
regardless of what the hell is going on,
In
because
the
they know
midst
how
of
rough of a
whatever.
day they've had and how
Yeah,
funky they feel and don't
yeah,
want to smile. And then look at you and they're like, okay, I can dig it. And not
I
only
can.
that, but I'm a salesperson. People do business with people they like. If you got a
Yeah.
funky attitude, don't nobody want to do nothing with you. But pal, you get more funky people. That ain't
There
my
you go.
part. I
Yes.
don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That yeah, just wow. I could talk to you for hours. And again, I know that we talk a lot, you know, when it comes to
I just
voiceover,
realized how long it's been. Wow. I'm
huh?
sorry. I just realized how long it's been. I can talk. I can talk.
No, no, no.
This
I
is
mean,
good
but I
though.
can too. You know, and that's the thing. That is what this platform is for. It is, and again, I can see somebody. You know, and no matter what the situation, you know, no matter what the situation, hearing your words and hearing it is going to resonate with so many people, and that is what this platform is about. That is what it's about. It's literally, as I said, there are so many people that have literally reached out to me and told me, you know, I really appreciate you know, your platform. Your platform is helping so many people. It's a reason, you know, it's a reason why. Thank God. So many people have been so quick. I have not talked to anyone that was like, no. It's like, oh my God, yeah, I want to talk about this. Yeah, we need to talk about blah blah blah. It needs to be talked about. So I thank God for that.
If I could also, just to keep in tune with the whole nature of the show, also,
Hmm.
I realized I was dealing with depression in March, April, right around the time of the voiceover conference. I had just realized prior to that, almost a year prior to, or the whole year prior to that, I just started snapping out of it in March. I didn't realize, you don't know what depression looks like. You hear the term, you know what I'm saying? You don't really know what it feels like.
Mm,
But you can be like, man, I ain't feeling right. Why am I thinking this kind of crazy stuff? Why does this keep popping up in my mind?
mm,
But you're dealing with grief. I've had a lot of partners that I was coming up with in Chicago, my age, you
yeah,
know, and they were dying of natural causes,
yeah,
I mean, their health, different things, not violence. And
yeah,
even up here, friends that I knew from Chicago that had been here dead. Uh, Guys I knew here were having a situation. They blacked out the wheel, had a heart attack. Dude, a year or two younger than me. I'm like, what the hell? You know, so it's real. And it makes
yeah.
you appreciative of what you got, man. So
Mm.
boo hoo, yeah, you got problems. Now wipe your damn eyes and let's move on, man. Let's make it better. We all got them. Come on, let's get together, boo hoo, one good time and keep it moving.
Yeah. Carlin, you have been like a breath of fresh air, I would say.
Thank you.
Just in your, like, seriously, in your
God
delivery.
is
And
good.
again, like I said, I know just in talking to you, you again, that's just what I've always gotten from you. But your can I say the word authenticity? Your realness, you're keeping it real. It is so it's necessary.
Thank you.
It's refreshing. It really is. It's extremely refreshing. And I will say it till the rooftop. I thank God that I thank God for every Black person, especially
Mhm.
male or person of color. Man, I've had, and when I was looking at my lit, I've had a lot of men on the show,
Mhm.
and I thank God for that,
Mhm.
especially talking about, and the fact that you shared everything that you shared, and then that you're touching on even though you didn't get any professional help for different things that you've gone
Not
through,
yet.
you were
Right.
able, but you were able to recognize and talk about it. That is so important.
Mhm.
Again, as they say, what did they say? I can't think. Having representation
Mhm.
matters.
Yes.
So to see a real Black man from the South Side of Chicago talking about his real feelings, talking about
Chi-town. You got to do that from Chicago. I'm sorry.
no, do that. And again, I was gonna kind of do something with, like, South Side, but
There you go. That
that's
too. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, but yeah, extremely. Thank you so much, Sandy, for all of your questions. I really
Yes,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank
and
you.
and again, I'm not going to tell you that what you've said and what you've done, what you've shared, is not inspiring and helping people. If it's not, yeah, it's good stuff. But like you're this is going to make a big difference in so many
Mhm.
people's lives. I really do believe that. And from time to time, I don't know if you can tell, but from time to time, certain little nuggets that you share. Of course, I'm going to share some reels with you, but you've dropped so many nuggets. I've written down like the time frame, so I can actually go back and find them. But
Thank you.
yeah, so no, thank you. I really do appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate you. I really do.
Marion,
Really,
thank you for this opportunity. You've been
yeah,
very authentic yourself, making yourself vulnerable, sharing your story. And kudos again for providing this opportunity and this outlet because
yeah.
it is valuable. And I was like, I don't know what's up with that. And I watched your episode too. And I was like, okay, I recognize him. Oh,
Hmm.
damn, he was dealing with stuff. I
Yeah,
would have known that. And that's the whole
that's it.
thing. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, they were dealing with that?
that's it.
And you hear the other people's stories. So it's real. We
Yeah,
all got it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Guess what? Everybody got something. They just ain't said nothing.
yeah,
People are good with covering shit.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
sorry. There's my mouth again. But
No,
thank you,
I
man.
like, you know, as I told you, I want you to be you, and I appreciate you for sharing everything that you've shared, still being you, because you know, yeah, you know, I want you to be you. I want you to talk like you talk, you know. But I do appreciate, because I know it's some other words, that colorful words that you could have used, and you didn't. So I appreciate so I appreciate that. But I'm gonna put your information up if people want to contact you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
As I've
Please
shared
do.
this, is there anything else that you would like to share? Um, uh, oh, hold on. Okay, no, hold on. Let me put us
Ask.
back on stage.
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Say no. That was my fault.
No, I was
We
just
couldn't hear
saying
you.
there are no dumb questions. The dumb
That's right.
questions are the ones you don't ask. I've
Yeah.
been an inquisitive guy from day one, and I don't feel bad about it. Sometimes
Yeah.
people have gotten on me for asking too many damn questions, but go what?
Me too.
Get over it. Yeah, it's done
Yeah.
me well. I don't feel bad. You know, I've been
Yeah.
blessed, and you know, this is a good day, and life is good for me because I'm here talking to you about it, and
Hmm.
I'm not in a bad situation. Things could be much
Yeah.
worse. And
Yeah.
people who have physical challenges much worse are still living good.
Yeah.
Don't don't trip out. You know, I love my man Tony because he don't let shit stop him. Excuse me. This dude I've seen bobsled. He's every damn where, doing everything, looking crazy as hell. That's my man, hot tamale.
Yeah.
You know, Tony is this great guy, man. He's a great
Yeah.
spirit. He and I have conversations, and he's taught me some things. All of those guys, and
Yeah.
they're still teaching me. I'm still learning because you know you learn about your own vulnerability and other people's vulnerability, which makes you a little bit
Mm,
more willing
mm,
to be vulnerable because you see that this is not just you. Every
yeah.
people got something. Everybody got something. And some people got it worse than you, dog. So you could be all
Yeah.
right.
One of my favorite gospel songs, in which I have hundreds, but "Be Grateful" has,
Oh,
like, as a kid, that was always one of
be
my favorite gospel
grateful. Yeah, I was in the
songs.
children's choir. I was in church big time, so I know about all
Okay,
that.
look at you. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
But
my
yeah,
sister sold children in
it's like,
Chicago.
so, it's someone else would love to be in your shoes. As bad as your situation, you may feel like your situation is, there is someone who would trade that with you easily.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
appreciate that. Um, I could literally talk to you, and again, you know, it's you have so much knowledge. You know, I as I have told some of my other guests,
I don't know about
if
that.
there's ever a time that you want to come back on the show, you are more than welcome. More than welcome.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, and I was gonna say, if you ever need me, don't hesitate to ask. I
oh, I
appreciate it.
won't. I won't. I won't.
That
But
was quick.
unfortunate, yeah, I'm not afraid to ask. And be like, I
I've
need, you know,
learned.
so yeah, so I'm going to put your information up. I'm also going to put some resources up. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, you won't be, we won't be able to hear you. So I'm just going to pop this up, and of course,
Okay.
people can actually catch it on the replay as well. I don't even know if people can hear me, but okay. So I'm going to put this up on the screen, and then I'll share this. Just some other resources there. All right. So I was going to ask if you have any pets, but we are completely well over
Yeah,
our
just
time. Do
fish.
you
I've
have
got
any
four
pets?
fish, the Fantastic Four. That's it. You know, I
I
don't
love
do. My wife wants a dog. She every few months she's like, "Don't you want to get a dog?" I know, but I don't want to take in a dang on dog. I mean, she is going to be at work all day. I work from home, so it's going to be my job. And I've looked into dogs. There's some dogs I wouldn't mind having the company, but you
right.
know, we'll see.
Yeah, you got to keep it real about the responsibility that it
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want that. I've had kids. You know, I'm good.
The grandbaby.
Yeah, well, as long as they got we good. I don't want to drop off too much, and if so, I want to keep your ID or something. You ain't about to leave me with the baby. You know, I'm
Oh,
good.
see, okay. Well, I just knew you were gonna be like, I have her all the time, but you're like, okay,
Oh no,
it's
they live in
grandbaby for a
Utah.
reason,
My
not
son
my
lives in
baby.
Utah, so I don't
Oh,
see him
okay,
that often. You
okay,
know,
okay.
but yes, ma'am,
Awesome.
it'll be all right.
Carlin,
Thank you,
thank you. I really do appreciate it.
thank
Yeah.
you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
Keep fighting.
And that's it for now. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us on Depression Proof Your Life tonight. If this conversation stirred up heavy emotions for you, please reach out for help. Call or text 988 for 24-hour support in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., look up your local crisis helpline. Stay connected with DPYL by following us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and visit depression-prooflife.com for resources, blogs, and to share your story. Your story may be exactly what someone else needs today. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, healing is possible.